Welcome to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. Join the podcast mogul Phil Better as he interviews successful entrepreneurs that make their living in the digital world. Now, let's join your host, Phil Better, and his special guest today on Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast.
Welcome back to another electrifying and personally for me, very, very top level episode of Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. I am, of course, your host, Phil Better, the podcast mogul. And today's guest is a true powerhouse in the world of AI and SaaS, combining digital marketing expertise with cutting edge technology to revolutionize content creation. He is a 2-time seven-figure entrepreneur, dynamic public speaker, and the CEO of Syllabi, an AI-driven startup that is helping content creators streamline their process by creating, scheduling, and publishing videos in minutes. He's also the host of Business Talk and social media sensation with over 4,000 TikTok videos to his name. He's tripled his own business revenue while also skyrocketing the success of his clients, amassing millions of followers across all his platforms. Today he's here to share that strategies that have fueled his rise and to empower you to take your content creation game to the next level. He's also one of the top 10 guests that I've always wanted to interview because I've been following him for the last year. And I'm just blowing as much warm air towards him, so I'll be more happy to share with us. But I want to welcome the amazing Austin Armstrong to the podcast. Austin, thank you so much for being here.
Phil, it's an honor to be here, man. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share. I'm excited to nerd out with you over the next 30, 45 minutes. It's going to be fun.
Oh, it definitely will, because I am a nerd of the AI and marketing, and you combine them both, so it's even better. So, Austin, we're going to just start with the first question. As always, I'd like to ask, why did you become an entrepreneur? What made you decide to say, screw the 9-to-5ers, I want to go on my own unbeaten path?
Yeah, so I've always been entrepreneurial. When I think about, there's different paths that entrepreneurs take. I mean, the real answer is I got fired from my job, and I was, faced with that decision of, do I bet on myself or do I try and find another job? And this was in the middle of the pandemic, or really beginning of the pandemic. It was June of 2020. I was fired from my full-time job, and I had started my marketing agency at that point. It was very much a side hustle. And then, I was let go. I had 2 months of revenue to support myself. I don't have kids, which is makes decisions a little bit easier because I could, I'm relatively young. I could have failed, but ultimately I decided to bet on myself, go all in, and it's the greatest decision that I ever could have made. I've now I've become pretty much a serial entrepreneur. I'm on my second official business, but I have other smaller side hustle companies as well, and I've got my hands in a million different things, and I'm so happy being an entrepreneur. It's like, why did I, wait so long to actually jump in? I was 28, I believe, when I started my first official company, like LLC, get your EIN, the whole 9 yards there. And why did I wait so long to do this thing? But yeah, I don't think I'll ever be an employee in a traditional sense ever again. I'm open to other opportunities in the future, because who knows where it'll take you. But I love being in control of my own destiny.
For those who are just listening, if you can't tell from his voice, he is smiling the whole time he was talking about being an entrepreneur. So you can generally see the joy that it brings him. And if you're not connected to him on Facebook or any of the social medias, you're missing out, because you can see the joy he has just sharing and helping grow other creators. When you decided to bet on yourself, how much fear did you have, and how did you overcome that fear?
Yeah, a little healthy narcissism, I guess. So yeah, of course, there's always fear and like imposter syndrome. So a little bit more about me. I took an untraditional path. I don't have a college degree. I am intrinsically motivated and self-taught. I went from internship to entrepreneur essentially. And so, even more so, it's a really difficult decision to try and find the job in a pandemic where everything's remote with no college degree, which still, for some reason, is a requirement for a lot of jobs that I find is absolutely ridiculous. But that's another story for another.
That's another podcast.
Yeah, I mean, so I talked to my wife, I talked to my business partner. I believe in myself. I've been doing this for a very long time, and ultimately, like I I I I'm glad I did it because I'd rather have tried and failed than to have lived my life wondering what if. And I try to embody that not just as an entrepreneur, but in everything without regrets. I don't live, and I try not to live in a fear-based mindset. I recently heard a fantastic mantra that I've now adopted into my life, and that's ask yourself not what is the worst that can happen. Ask yourself what's the best that can happen. What is the best scenario that could come out of this? As an entrepreneur, you have to be okay with failures. Like every failure is a lesson learned on your path towards progress, on your path towards greatness. So, whatever fear there was or uncertainty, I ripped the Band-Aid off, and I just kind of am a fuck it mentality kind of guy. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to curse.
You're good. You're good.
Whatever. Fuck it. Let's find out what happens and hope for the best. And it's so like there's a lot of ups and downs, but there's been far more successes than failures along the way. But without a doubt, I was confident that I would make something work, and it's just up leveled my entire life, my mindset, my confidence in myself, everything.
Love that. And while betting on yourself, so you bet on yourself, got your digital marketing agency up and running as your full-time hustle. How did Syllabi come about? Because it's taking digital marketing and then the explosion of AI and you're mixing it together. How did you come about with the idea? How did it become your second baby? Or is this another spin, pretty much the evolution of the digital marketing agency?
Yeah, exactly. So I've been doing social media marketing now for 20 years. October, which is when we're recording this, October 2004 is when I got started doing like real social media marketing, growing accounts, monetizing it, helping businesses grow on MySpace. I've been working in the agency space for 11 years. There's a lot of repeated problems that business owners face that are the reason why they hire a marketing agency in the first place. There are repeatable steps that I do and that agencies do to help businesses grow on social media. And I always put myself in the headspace, and I told my team too, I always had the idea that we are not an agency. We are a predictable, repeatable system of growth that happens to be in the life stage of an agency right now. This knowledge and repeatable processes of success can be taken and adopted to any industries in different jobs and whatnot. And so that permeated, and ultimately I began to think that I could streamline with software a lot of what I was doing at the agency, developing a content strategy, doing some competitor research, picking the best topics, writing video scripts, actually creating and editing the videos, scheduling and publishing them to all of your social media channels, and checking your analytics to measure KPIs and your overall ROI on your efforts. There's more than an agency does, but at a high level, that's essentially what a content marketing agency does. And I'm like, wow, a lot of this can be done with software. And that was right before the AI sort of boom. So I was working on Syllabi as a content strategy tool. So the original idea of it was like, this will save me a lot of time developing a content strategy for a client. And then maybe we can just roll this out as a tool that can help anybody just create a content strategy. Because I have my own framework for how I do that. And then right around that time too, ChatGPT came out and changed the world. And then they had released then right after the OpenAI API. And then that has changed our world over the last 2 years. Absolutely accelerated software, and in every meaning of the phrase, has changed the world. And so that opened up all of the other opportunities that allow us to get to where Syllabi is today, and where I want to continue to grow with it is that it's basically, if you can't afford to hire an agency, like we were charging $5,000 to $15,000 a month to do all of that and manually post. Well, now you can do all of that and more in Syllabi for $25 a month. You can find the best topics that your customers or your target audience are searching for online. You can write social media ready video scripts in one click. You can create videos with faceless videos or avatar videos or talking photo videos, or you can even edit your own videos in Syllabi if you want in a matter of minutes. And then you can connect, schedule, and publish to all of your social media platforms. And in fact, in 2 weeks, we're rolling out auto scheduling, which is set and forget. So I can turn Syllabi on, and every single day it'll create a video for my target niche, schedule, and publish it out. I don't even need to create or manually upload anymore. The software does everything for you automatically, which is insane to think about. And so, I could just continue going, like rambling on that, but yeah, that's where the idea came from, is just like repeatable problems. Social media has changed my life, and I just want to be able to help other people. And at charging $5,000 to $15,000 a month, I just can't help everybody, but I can help a lot of people at $25 a month. And so that's what I wanted to do with Syllabi.
I love it. With this new, like, you just blew my mind with the set and forget, because that is something I think a lot of entrepreneurs, especially solopreneurs, would love, because then it's like, okay, that's taken care of. The social media is taken care of. I can now focus on what's really important, making money, right?
Yeah.
And it's costing you $25 a month, which is insane value. Like,
Thank you.
just the set to forget, I would pay $25 a month for, what I want to touch on the faceless videos, because that's something I've seen you post a lot in your Facebook group and on your social media. Why are you doing that? Why are you creating these faceless YouTube channels? And is there a strategy behind it? What's the point, in essence, I'm trying to ask?
Yeah, well, so plain and simple, a lot of people want to create videos but don't feel comfortable showing their face on camera. For whatever reason, maybe they're self-conscious, maybe they legally are not allowed because they're in a restricted industry from their job, or they just don't feel good that day, whatever. It doesn't matter what your excuse is. They fear, judgment from friends or family or online strangers. Doesn't matter. Faceless videos are a fantastic way to get your expertise out there in a way that people really engage with and like. And you don't have to show up on camera. You don't have to put your face behind it, but you can still get all of the benefits and results from videos. They perform exceptionally well. And let me backtrack here for a second. What a faceless video is essentially a non-talking head video. It's there's audio, there's subtitles, there's a script, but it's not a person on camera. It's either AI generated imagery and videos stitched together, or it's B-roll style videos. And that's essentially what a faceless video is. And so Syllabi makes that incredibly easy to generate an entire video on any topic without you needing to show up. And yeah, it's just helped a lot of people. It's trending like crazy right now too. That's why I also talk about it, and that's why I'm pushing it so much, is that this was a very manual process, which took hours to find the images or create the images and then write the script manually and edit everything together. And it's just a very popular style of video and has been for years. Like, this isn't a new thing. It's just ramping up even more right now because with AI, the whole process is completely automated. But yeah, it's just another format of content. I think anybody can be a creator. I think it can be taught. I think it can be learned. I think software and automation and AI can do everything. Like, not everybody wants to sit down, press record, and make a YouTube video, every week or every day. But now you can, on your phone, make a video that is gonna get 10,000 views while I'm standing in line at Starbucks.
Good point. I'm kind of curious. This is kind of like if I'm an entrepreneur looking to start an agency, would be able to use Syllabi as like a white, quote unquote, white label? And for my audience that may not know what white label is, it's just using another service as your own. Is that a possibility?
Yes. So we have a lot of agencies that love using Syllabi. It's not white label per se, as in the software white labeling. Like, you can't resell, log into the software with your own branding or like a go high level type of thing. It's not that white label, but we do have a lot of agencies that are starting to sell AI generated videos. We love agencies. I'm adding more features specifically for agencies. And so if you're an agency owner and you have 10 clients that you want to create faceless videos for, or AI avatar videos for, and so all you need to do is get their list of topics, and then you can create the videos and schedule and publish to all of their platforms. Or in 2 weeks when we have the auto scheduling feature, I mean, this is going to be insane for agencies, because you can charge, $500 a month, to create daily faceless videos. And all you're doing is using Syllabi, turn it on, let it run. The business owner's not going to care, and you're able to make big profits. So I think it's going to explode as we continue to embrace agencies.
I love that. And because we're talking about AI, and obviously Syllabi leverages AI to create the content and streamline their video process, and in 2 weeks, pretty much set to forget. What do you see the biggest opportunities for AI in the content market in the future? And how do you ensure that the automation enhances creativity rather than stifles it?
Yeah, such a great question. I mean, I'm so excited with these video generation models that are coming out, like Sora, and now there's, Flux is adopting image to video. There's Luma, there's Pika, there's like Hailu or Hayo or something like that. There's all of these models coming out there. And so from enhancing creativity, like, think of it as like fan fiction. The floodgates are going to open. And I love this because, I'm a big Dragon Ball Z fan. Let's say that. But take your, Game of Thrones, any universe, anything that you're a fan of, pretty soon you're going to be able to create your own episodes, your own movies with those characters however you want. So like, we could change in probably like 2 years at how fast the stuff's going out. Like, I could just remake the last season of Game of Thrones.
I think a lot of people probably would.
Right? Or like Lost, or like, like any terrible ending. Like, these are going to be videos that I think enhances creativity, because it democratizes the the ribbon ceremony and the millions of dollars that it takes to produce a video or a movie or a TV show or anything like that. And now there's licensing issues there for sure. You won't be able to like monetize that stuff, but like, sometimes it's just for me. Like if I can recreate the last season of Game of Thrones with exactly what I want, like maybe I'll throw it up on YouTube and not monetize it. But like, I kind of just want to watch that. And if it's close enough and it's good enough, which it's getting there, guys. So yeah. I think there will always be a need for creativity, human input. People are either like they're all in on AI, or they're fighting it and they hate it. I hate AI. And like, I think that's the it's not as black and white as that. And like, yes, I understand we could have a moral, ethical, conversation forever on, AI creativity, AI stifling creativity. I think it enhances it. This is the next evolution in technology. Scribes hated the printing press, but here we are hundreds of years later, right? Like jobs change, roles change, how we create is going to change, but it will absolutely, all of these tools will enhance creativity. And that's the stake in the ground that I believe in.
That's the hill you're willing to die on.
That is the hill that I'm willing to die on.
I do agree with you. Like with these videos coming out, and I'll give a short, my point of view. I have a fear that unscrupulous business owners will try and use this to take away the agency of artists, because without artists we won't have the creativity that we have. We wouldn't have Game of Thrones if George R.R. Martin wasn't inspired by Tolkien and going backwards. I think with the ability of businesses to use humans to write the script, to then use AI to generate these low-level films, can also test the market for future films to be filmed with actual people, that we can test. Oh, is this something that's interesting, like they did with the Deadpool, like what apparently Ryan Reynolds may have or may not have released the footage of Deadpool. Sorry. I think this, like you said, it's a tool. It has to be looked like as a tool and not as a replacement. The hammer didn't replace the wooden plank, or the printing press didn't replace scribes, because people still love having handwritten things done, right? They have now an ability to charge more.
I love that point of testing, right? Because like, movies, for instance, like they gamble spending $100 million on a big budget action film, right? That might flop and lose. But if there's a way that they could really test that before dedicating the money to it, we're going to get better projects and less flops.
Yeah, it's just going to be all greater. They can do a short mini film, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, see how it does on YouTube. It crushes on YouTube, then they know they have next blockbuster. I love it. It's the future is YouTube. I personally see YouTube being where all the future filmmakers and actors are creative, because it's a playground. Which is something that you talk about a lot on your Facebook as well, about how YouTube is an open university. I love that, because it's very true. What is one channel that you are currently following that you think is drastically underappreciated, that is not getting the love that it should be?
Oh, that's such a good question. Well, one that comes to mind, because I was just in a webinar with him, is Scott Simpson with Graffiti Media. So he's a YouTube agency owner and coach and friend. He's got like 13,000, 12,000 subscribers right now, but he does really cool, like almost investigative journalism type of content about different YouTube creators and different interesting people. and I think his videos are fascinating. They're really good. So that's the first one that comes to mind. I mean, there's other. Admittedly, I don't watch as much YouTube as I probably should. I'm a short form guy, so there's a lot of like That's a Bad Idea is one of my favorite channels. It's these two guys that they do sketches, but their style of comedy is so funny. So they're getting pretty big. They have like a couple million followers now, or like I think they just hit 1 million on TikTok, but they're so funny. Every single video they put out cracks me up. So those are a couple that come to mind.
I like those two. That's great. We got the long form, which for the audience that enjoys those long form type, and we got the short form for people who just need that quick dopamine burst of laughter. I love that, Austin. I want to know, where do you see yourself? You're already a 2-time 7-figure entrepreneur. You're hitting accolades that some of us are dreaming of, and you're just like, oh, it's just walk in the park for Austin over here. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Nearly 30 years.
A 2-time 8-figure entrepreneur.
Obviously, you're going to be a multi 7-figure entrepreneur. Probably into the multi 8 figures at this point.
I mean, so I have a defined path that I want to take. I am loving the startup life right now. I want to invest in other creator-led businesses. And so, my goal is to create a bunch of tools and systems and continue to grow so that I can financially invest in other creators and help them out. So I want to either become an angel investor or create like more of a targeted accelerator program or something along the lines of that to help people grow their personal brands and grow businesses online. I will invest in them and help them grow. That's probably where the next 10 years of my life are going to end up.
I love that. That's a great outlook to have. And to get there, you're going to have to invest in yourself, obviously. And what is something, a practice you do, or maybe there's a mantra that you always say, or there's something that you do to invest in yourself, to keep yourself leveling up, that my audience or the audience can take away from?
I don't know if I have a particular mantra, but I go deep into things that I'm interested in. I am a big advocate for paying for coaching, one-on-one coaching or group coaching, and going to conferences. I think that is, I've gotten so much ROI and improvement in my life and my career from paying to attend conferences, network, and one-on-one coaching where you like have somebody, implementing specific strategies on your specific goals and needs are so important. I watch a lot of content. I study a lot of content. I test a lot of content. That's how I continue to improve, is just testing in real time. But you have to invest in yourself. Like I could never see myself just being like, well, that's enough. I've done enough. I've accomplished enough. That's not how my brain works. I've got to continue to learn and do new things and tinker. So
I like that. It's great. Always, failing forward, if you will, because you're testing things are going to fail, but you're moving forward, learning all that. When did you fall upon TikTok being so good for your business? When did that happen?
Yeah, I love that. So early 2019, I believe, is when I had created my TikTok page. So, which is now unfortunately deleted, but I'm back up to about 200,000 followers now. I have a love-hate relationship with TikTok, but so I'm trying to remember back here. So I had started my agency. It was very much a side hustle thing, right? And I was starting on TikTok. But I didn't have much of a strategy in place. I was testing like different trends and creating like cat videos, and like randomly I would post like a marketing oriented video or like a useful website video, and nothing was really gaining traction. And I remember I attended a free webinar from Rachel Peterson. Shout out to Rachel, who's an amazing, amazing entrepreneur, content creator, like queen of TikTok. And I had a huge aha moment from that webinar of how to focus my strategy and to give myself a ultimatum and goal. And so from that, I gave myself a 30-day ultimatum of, okay, I'm only going to create 30 days of content around my business and the services that I offer. And if I don't see any meaningful traction at all in 30 days, maybe this is not the platform for me and I'm going to move on. That was right around the time also that I had gotten fired as well. So yeah, I went all in on TikTok, and it started to grow pretty quickly. I think within 2 weeks, I had my first video go viral for me, which was about 100,000 views, and it was about SEO. It was about how to compress an image size, and how to add. Oh my gosh, what was it? It was like how to manipulate the metadata on the image, and for SEO, and it's kind of bullshit. It's a little bit of bullshit, but like file size definitely mattered, right? It was page load speed and whatnot. And so when that video blew up, that actually got a lot of leads, because my agency, we did SEO and we did social media video, and I had actually like, as any good marketer does, you test until something works, and then you go deep in that thing for as long as it works. And so I kind of became an SEO guy on TikTok for the first like year and a half that I was active on TikTok. I made an SEO course that sold a bunch of money. I gained a ton of clients specifically off of TikTok, just talking about SEO. Applying video to SEO, really innovative, like making SEO sexy. Like nobody was really talking about SEO in an exciting way on TikTok. So it was new, it was fresh, it was useful for businesses. And yeah, I mean, that led to one thing to another. I started gaining a lot of followers on TikTok. Businesses started to ask if I could help them with their TikTok strategy. And that's when I kind of pivoted to be more of like a TikTok short form guy. And that completely changed my life over the last 4 years. Short form video just completely changed my life, and has given me so many opportunities. But yeah, it all stemmed from TikTok, and given myself that ultimatum with a level of focus.
I love that. Great story for people to take into account. We are coming to the end, which I hate. Awesome.
Could talk forever,
I'm pretty sure if we had a podcast, it'd be a Joe Rogan level.
Yeah, do a 3-hour deep dive.
Yeah, just talking. We're gonna have you back for sure, because
anytime. Happy to come back.
I want to talk more business, more marketing, all that stuff, because I know it's going to be valuable to the audience. But I'm going to ask my final question, my selfish question of the podcast. Not that any of the other questions haven't been selfish, but I want to know, I have your 10-year-old self right beside me. He's a great kid, smiles, fun of energy. What is the one piece of advice you would love to have at 10 years old?
Find something that you love doing and that you are
Oh, looks like we had a little issue there, and hopefully he'll be coming back. I believe he will be. Welcome back.
Sorry.
No problem.
Annoying. I'll repeat that last one. I did say it to completion, but I don't know if it uploaded.
Will be whatever works. If I need the audio, we'll do it again. So just go from the top. What advice would you give to your 10-year-old self?
Yeah, such a great question. So find something that you are passionate about, that you love doing, that lights you up, whatever that thing is, and never stop doing it. Stay completely consistent with it. Find out how you can become the best at that thing, whatever it is, whatever you love.
I love it. That's great advice. Austin, I'm going to jump off the screen here. I want you to let my audience know where they can find you, follow you, be part of Business Talk, because you're dominating that market. The floor, sir, is yours.
Yeah, so thank you so much. You can connect with me at Socialty Pro on most platforms. My name is Austin Armstrong. I am the nerdy AI glasses Austin Armstrong. I am not the Florida Gators defensive lineman coach Austin Armstrong, nor am I the LA-based relationship influencer Austin Armstrong, to separate myself from the other two online behemoths. If you want to check out Syllabi, we have a 7-day free trial, but anybody that's listening to this or watching this podcast, if you use the code CHALLENGE, you can actually save 25%. That coupon code is going to expire pretty soon, so jump on that if you'd like to test Syllabi out at the cheapest possible rate. Syllabi shows you the topics based on what real people are searching for online. So it's real data. It writes scripts for you. It creates entire videos in minutes, and then you can schedule and publish to all of your social media platforms so that you can focus more on doing what you love and let social media be handled entirely by Syllabi.
I love it. And thank you very much for that offer, Austin. Thank you so much again for being here. It was a great chat.
Thank you, man. It was an honor, and I can't wait for the next time.
Oh, the next time is going to be great. To my audience, make sure you check out the show notes down below to connect with Austin, as well as get the Syllabi special 25% with the code challenge. It's going to be in the show notes down below. If it's after the time that the challenge ticket expires, well, you should be listening sooner. But Austin, is always a pleasure. I thank you all for listening, and I wish you all an amazing day. And remember to always invest in yourself.